So now we're on to station 2, which is where we're going to model the transcription of DNA into RNA. So make sure to answer the questions. You're going to want to fill out actually the first 3 questions before we move on to the next part. And it tells you what sequence to put together for the template strand of DNA, and then you build the non-template strand, which is right the other half of the DNA molecule, and that should be in gray. So here we go. I went ahead and built our DNA strand that we are going to then transcribe into RNA. Something I want you to notice with these is that our DNA nucleotides, do you see how they have a rounded bottom, right? Well, as we move on to RNA, you'll notice our RNA nucleotides have a square bottom. And that's because they're showing the difference. Remember, DNA for their sugar molecule has deoxyribose. That's the name of the sugar. But RNA has just ribose sugar. And so it makes it a slightly different shape. And so they show that in our model by having a square bottom for our RNA molecules and a circular bottom for the DNA molecules. So when we start this process, we bring our DNA molecule to the enzyme called RNA polymerase, because that is the enzyme that takes the instructions from the DNA and it copies it into an RNA molecule, which will eventually become mRNA. So here comes our DNA molecule, and just like helicase, RNA polymerase is going to start splitting our two, right, it's going to break those hydrogen bonds between the bases so that it's breaking it into 2 strands, or at least it's opening it up. Okay, now our template strand has reached the active site, so now we're going to start building the RNA molecule. Whoops, here comes our next one. Now the RNA doesn't hold on for very long. So do you see now it's, whoops, this is a little more challenging. Okay, and I hope you notice also here that adenine instead of thymine, there is no thymine, there's no T in RNA, there's uracil instead. So as more of the RNA strand is built, do you notice that at this part here, now the part of the DNA strand that we're finished with is starting to come back together, right? So it's re-zipping. Those hydrogen bonds are coming back together. And let's keep building. So we're elongating our protein. Or sorry, not our protein, we're elongating our mRNA strand. Okay, now as we get to our last RNA nucleotide added on, it will keep going. It's going to eventually, right, it splits from the DNA and it can leave. So that mRNA strand is finished. The DNA is going to continue to come through. It's re-zipping all its nucleotide bases back together. So now my nucleotide is ready to go. It could be transcribed again now if it went back, right, to the beginning of our RNA polymerase. And my mRNA is ready to move on to its next destination. Now make sure to answer your questions before you move on.